Let me quickly bring into this conversation on India First, S. Gurumurthy, editor of the political weekly Tughlaq, RSS thinker, ideologue, someone who's also associated with the Swadeshi, Jagran, Manch. Sir, welcome. Mr. Gurumurthy, delivering the 6th Ramnath Goenka lecture, the Prime Minister said India must put the locks on Western mindset. This mindset that's been embedded since 1835 and Macaulay's legacy, sir. How do you define Macaulay's mindset in today's day and age?
See, I'm extremely happy. First, the Prime Minister mentioned the fundamental distortion that took place in Indian intellectualism in 1835. In fact, nobody has inquired into the origin of these minutes. They have just gone by how the minutes has really changed the mind of India, the intellectual mind of India. Macaulay sat in my state, Tamil Nadu, in Ooty, and wrote these minutes. He had no idea of India. He was totally illiterate. I'll tell you how the history conspired. It was only much later that Monier Williams discovered Sanskrit, which was key to understanding the literature, the Vedas, the Upanishads, everything about India. And Monier Williams said that Sanskrit language is superior to even Greek and Latin. But Macaulay was unaware of it because history had conspired that the knowledge about India, which the West could gain, came much later to Macaulay's minutes, where he said if you put the entire intellectual work of the Indian subcontinent, it will be only 1.5 shelf of the British knowledge system. He was illiterate. A totally illiterate man's minutes formed the intellectual foundation of the education system in India, which came later.
So what you're saying is someone who was illiterate was forming India's education policy, and he knew very little about the vastness of India's knowledge system, sir. So when Prime Minister Narendra Modi quotes Macaulay, saying that his goal was only to create this Indian who is British at heart, are we still paying a price for it? Do you believe Macaulay's mindset still plagues India of today?
Sir, I have personally experienced it. In fact, I have been in both worlds, in Macaulay's world as well as the traditional India's world, because Tamil Nadu produced both. Tamil Nadu produced the most modern Indian thinkers, and they went as far as to deny the Indian culture situation, Indian orientation itself to the Dravidian philosophy. But we also held on to our beliefs about the greatness of India, our culture, our language, everything. So I have been in both worlds, and I have been in the world of commerce, of finance, of economics, of intellectualism, which was driven by the Macaulay-minded people. I can tell you, even today in the Indian system, whether it is training the IAS officers or lawyers or chartered accountants, it is the Macaulay mindset that works. I'll tell you, in 1997, Govindacharya and me were met by a Japanese Mitti #2 man. He was a very young man at the time he met us. And when we discussed, he told things about India, how the Japanese study India as the only friendly civilization in the world. They said we have spent $2.5 billion in studying India, and we know more about India than all the universities of India put together. And we were shocked. Okay. Then, whatever he said was such a geopolitical confidential matters. I will not be able to say this in the hookup. So I asked him, why don't you say all this to your government? Can they not talk to our government through our external affairs? Sir, the moment we tell anything to our external affairs, it will immediately reach the West because of the closeness you have through the English language.
English language. Okay, okay. So, Mr. Gurumurthy, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi gives examples of countries like Japan, and you just spoke of Japan, or countries like China and South Korea, they adopted Western ideas but remained rooted in their own language. Now, is that where India lost big time?
Correct. I'm telling you. I mean, of course, I should not be saying this. I once asked the Prime Minister, in what language you talk to these the Japanese, the Russians. At that time he had met Xi Jinping, and you were touching his shoulders and talking and laughing in lot language. He said it's only in Hindi.
Oh.
He said they get confidence to talk to you more if you talk in your language than in English, because the moment you talk in English, they connect you with the West, with America. And all our people are longing for a certificate from how well we speak English. And now, after globalization, how well we speak phonetically American English. I mean, I have seen this because I have been in the world of commerce. I have been
Of
in
course.
the field of journalism. I tell you, we have, it's not an inferior mindset actually. We think we are superior even to the Englishman in speaking English. we know more about it. But in the process that you don't know anything about India, we
Okay.
don't know.
Okay, but tell me this, sir. Mr. Gurumurthy, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given a roadmap for the next 10 years, till 2035, when it will be 200 years of Macaulay coming to India in 1835. Can this roadmap actually be followed, that you reverse that Macaulay Putra mindset or the Macaulay mindset, and all these, in Delhi University, they were jokingly called Macaulay Putras, those who follow Macaulay's teachings. Now, can we decolonize our minds and yet continue to grow at the speed and pace which we want to? Does the new education policy actually address that? But more than the education policy, does it have to have a social construct, sir?
Sir, I am talking about new education policies, the government initiative. I am seeing what is happening at the societal level. There is a huge amount of interest in the Indian way. For example, the Vedas and Upanishads were decried by our historians as the blabberings of animus. This is what Romilya Thapar said.
Imagine.
But in 1962, Schrödinger, who got the Nobel Prize, he said that the origin of universe is a mystery and it can be explained only through Vedas and Upanishads, as a supreme universal consciousness has resulted in matter. And how the Nobel laureates looked at science, and how our historians, through whom we are understanding what science and what our Vedas and Upanishads are speaking. Now, I find in IIT, in other scientific institutions, more and more students trying to understand how the Vedic rishis perceived facts.
Okay.
You know, our length of time in billions of years, I mean, it was considered to be exotic. Now it is scientific.
Okay, okay. And you agree when the Prime Minister says that Macaulay broke India's self-confidence, instilled a sense of inferiority in us. We take great pride if we speak fluent English. We should take greater pride in speaking our own languages, learning through our languages. Is that possible, sir, in your view, that that inferiority complex can be removed and our self-confidence comes back?
Absolutely. You see, he built for 50 years at least. I was involved in the process of change in the Indian psyche through the Ram Janmabhoomi movement. Till then, we felt so inferior. It is that movement which generated huge amount of pride in our culture, in our value systems. And now the ecosystem is changing. And in my view, the government policies are bound to change. The government cannot change the ecosystem. The ecosystem has to change through the intellectual discourse, which is happening today. And I'm very happy about it that at the autumn of my life, I am seeing the result of the battle which we had waged for the last 50 years, fighting in the educational field, in the intellectual field, in the media, in the field of economics, commerce, trade, the output of what Macaulay had planted.
Okay, so you waged a long battle. There's another battle that you need to continue to wage to see it to its logical conclusion. And Tvam Jeevem Sharda Hashatam, sir, not clearly the autumn of your life. You still have to soldier on. For joining me here on India First, many thanks.